So we'll move on to our report on the making of Goldeneye, in which Pierce Brosnan becomes the 6th actor to play James Bond. The series started back in 1962 with Dr. No, which made an instant megastar of Sean Connery. But times have changed, and the kind of stunts and special effects that made the earlier movies outrageously different are now commonplace. So how do you go about refurbishing old 007 as a hero fit for the 1990s? We spent a day on location at Leavesden Aerodrome to find out.
You were expecting someone else? My name's Bond. James Bond. It's like no other job for an actor, really. Suddenly, you know, this comes into your life and you become famous for doing a role that you haven't even shot yet. When I announced to the world and I stood there in that hotel there last summer, it was unbelievable to walk out on a stage with the world press there.
God, there's a lot of you out here this morning. Whew.
The main task at hand is really getting this film and telling the story. And we are doing that. We have a wonderful director in Martin Campbell, who's very hungry for this, and likewise myself, in wanting to get it right.
The 17th Bond movie had an 18-week shooting schedule spread over 2 continents, with 4 units filming simultaneously. Key scenes were shot at the former Rolls-Royce Aerodrome at Leavesden, which boasts one of the biggest backlots in the world. The enormous logistical task of direction went to Martin Campbell, of Edge of Darkness fame.
Of an 18-week shoot, I've got 4 units at any one time, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so between all of that... No, actually it is daunting, yes, very daunting.
Action!
What we filmed today is the streets of St. Petersburg. We built the set here at Leavesden, as you can see. Right, you can hear them all yelling and screaming around the corner. Probably want me to get round there, but it's a street in St. Petersburg that we've built here.
The second unit filmed the establishing shots in Russia, and the more complicated scenes were shot on the backlot at Leavesden.
Because it was found logistically difficult to shoot in Russia for real. In order to have more control over everything, more control over traffic, pedestrian movement, and also we were doing things with collisions with tanks and all sorts of things like that. It was important to have our own controlled piece of street. So what we decided to do was build a little section of street.
The job of devising and constructing this mammoth set was undertaken by the veteran Bond designer Peter Lamont. From flat aerodrome to complete set, it took 6 weeks and 4 days.
If you're interested, there's something like 63 miles of tubular scaffolding. It's rather expensive, but we felt, you know, with possible restrictions we might get in Russia, running a 36-ton tank around the place, you know, they might get slightly annoying.
The first film I ever saw was a 1964 Bond movie, that was, and I was a young boy from the bogs of Ireland, Putney High Street, and I saw this incredible film.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch.
I mean, people say, how are you going to make it different? There's certain characteristics which you have to adhere to. The man is a killer, he's a commander. He works for Queen and Country, whatever, you know, the mission. His weakness is women. The odd vodka martini here and there. And then the rest is it's you as a man, how you, as an actor, what you instill in it. I mean, it's not a great character transformation here.
On the day we turned up on set, Brosnan was concerned that we weren't seeing Bond in quite the right light.
I'm going to be doing action tomorrow. I will be more Bond tomorrow, I promise you, Barry. I'm sorry it's a bit boring today, but this is all she wrote, you know? Tomorrow I have the gun, and I have the goal.
So, have the politically correct 90s impinged on the Bond style when it comes to women?
Certainly the part of Natalia, which is played by Isabella Scorupco, she takes the reins at one point, only for a while, only for a little while. And Bond does listen to what she has to say.
All the heroes I know are dead.
Natalia, listen to me.
How can you act like this? How can you be so cold?
It's what keeps me alive.
No. It's what keeps you, though.
But he's still the same guy, you know? He's still the same guy. You know, the women are there. He has a boss, a female boss, which kind of rankles him a little bit. It's tough for him to take orders from a woman. And this is the part of M, which is being played by Dame Judi Dench.
You don't like me, Bond. You don't like my methods. You think I'm an accountant. A bean counter, more interested in my numbers than your instincts.
The thought had occurred to me.
Good. Because I think you're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur.
You know, this is a man who lives in a man's world. He is a chauvinist in some parts. But he has a tender side to him. But if the woman gets in the way too much, then she'll get a shot.
I think, of course, all feminists want to get the role of Bond girls changed, but I think it's quite a sell. I'm very satisfied with myself. I'm very self-confident. I think I mean, obviously everyone wants to have the girls very different because it's 95.
You don't need the gun.
That depends on your definition of safe sex.
The Bond girls always have actually been very strong in Bond films. But I think they always try to make it a little bit softer to make Bond stronger.
This is a big action piece, and it's a big action piece which the public and the world are awaiting, as it were, a new James Bond. So, there's lots of good stunts in this. Lots of soft bodies, hard stunts. And they're big, they're bold, and they're very Bond-esque.
Fancy old M going off to have the operation after all those years without telling a soul. Goldeneye, which takes its title from the Caribbean home of Bond's creator Ian Fleming, opens on November the 24th. Interesting to see how Brosnan matches up against Connery and Moore and even David Niven.